So glad to be here. How many of you know about Wyse Technology as a company? I see one hand, two. These people are going to get 100 euros from me at the end of the meeting. 1, 2, 3, and 4 people. Okay. Wyse is a thin computing company based in San Jose, California, in the US, and we've been around for 30 years. Started actually in 1979, 1980 timeframe. And for those people who are close to the IT, ICT segment, would not probably be able to count more than 10 companies coming to your mind who've been around for 30 years. So this company has been in server, PC, green screen terminal business for a long time. And I'm assuming some of the other people in the room also know Wyse, probably they don't remember. Over the past 10 years, there has been a huge, what I call, fast evolution in the ICT segment, IT segment. You just mentioned, obviously, the telecommunications trends, but actually, information technology and telecommunications go in a big way hand in hand. And over the past 10 years, first time in our history, IT, telecommunications, and now content providers all are merging. First time in our history. There is a huge perfect storm taking place where 3 storms, they're all each in its own definition very big, and they're converging. And that converging process actually creating tremendous opportunities for private sector, for public sector, and as a whole for education. For those who are coming to this event from different parts of the world, I saw people here from Africa, from US, from European Union, from Middle East, some people I saw yesterday from Asia. In any country you live in any region you live in, when you look at the political and socioeconomic trends, what you hear in general, candidates of political parties who are running power cover their all campaigns in a few areas and tell a story. In that area you hear things like national security, things around economy. And in all those conversations, there are 5 pillars to any conversation. From South Africa, from Jacob Zuma's campaign to Barack Obama's campaign in the US. Same thing happening right now in the UK with David Cameron, conservatives, and obviously with Gordon Brown. Same thing happening in Germany here with Angela Merkel. You see what's happening even in countries we call democratic autocracies, like in China, even with the Chinese premier, right? The campaigns are all about national security and economy, but there are 5 pillars never change. One is healthcare for the citizens. One is obviously infrastructure for the country, for the region, wherever you live. Third one is obviously always about environment in some shape or form. Some places better than the others. Energy, huge issue. And these are just beyond telecommunications, right? And fifth pillar always talked about but not taken care of appropriately is education. Everybody wants to touch my PC. I don't know what's going on. Actually, I'm an anti-PC guy. I don't know why we're using PC here. So on that note, anybody else want to touch the PC? Can I give this presentation? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. Is this Windows 7? I cannot even figure out where these buttons are. Okay. So did I mention the perfect storm? Anybody heard that? Yes. Okay, good. How many people know about Wyse now? Okay, 10 more people. We're making progress. By the next presentation, I think people are going to know. To make those longest stories short, going back to the overall trends in each of these countries, what we see, education is one of the main pillars, as I said earlier. But overall, that's the piece which is usually ignored the most in many different ways. But this is the opportunity now, because of this most perfect storm I'm talking about, where information technology, telecommunications, and content all coming together first time in our history, which creates tremendous, tremendous opportunities for, again, for public sector, for private sector entrepreneurs, and all, as well as citizens in the world. And that opportunity, unfortunately, overshadowed by the economic crisis. People are all down, all worried about jobs, obviously. On the top of that, we have these wars going on in our world, terrorism, and all the other things are taking place. Unfortunately, the psyche in general terms is negative and down. However, this most perfect storm taking place is creating opportunities we've never seen before. They're hugely important. And most people still do not realize what that opportunity is. And hopefully in the next 15 minutes I have left, I just want to share with you from our perspective where the opportunity lies. When I was looking at the online Educa Berlin program guide, on the cover you have this big brain going on, and in it there are all these terms. Lifelong learning, open access, I think we're going to talk about access a little bit, open source and so forth. Web 3.0, e-portfolios, digital learning. I'm just reading all these things. These are all good and great, but how these things come together and really create opportunity for us? I guess this is the question that we need to answer as educators, as businesses, as government officials, and as citizens, and as parents and kids and whatever, whoever we are. So having said that, I just want to make sure that I do a good job today, share with you a little bit where that opportunity lies, and in high-level terms, from a technology vendor perspective. So Wyse come into this thing, Wyse Technologies come into this thing to overall discussion topic from a perspective of information technology trends. And those information technology trends are probably can be summarized in 5 areas without going to all these terms I just read from the guide. Number one, all these new technology around green computing. The reason is, without energy, without the right level power, it is impossible to talk about onlineness, e-learning, technology, and everything else. Because when you don't have the power, when you don't have the energy, it is impossible to do online learning and e-learning. And let's not only think about from a Germany perspective or France or UK or US perspective. Let's think about from a village perspective in South Africa, where there is, forget about energy, there are now probably a village with buildings. Forget about the energy, there are no power outlets. Think about some of the villages that we're dealing with in India and in Indonesia where there's no infrastructure. So that is the reason, as we are looking at some of these topics and overall discussion areas, as educators, as IT professionals and business leaders, key concept is the contextuality of the place and the time that we're dealing with. In that context, Wyse is looking at this overall opportunity from a technology perspective, but by not ignoring other trends happening at the same time. So going back from a technology perspective, 5 general trends coming into place and creating these opportunities. One is obviously green. How we generate energy where we don't have the right level of energy or the right type of energy. But even equally importantly, how we use energy efficiently so we can deliver technology and through the technology the right application and content to the end users. That might be a student, that might be a business professional, that might be a citizen. That citizen might be at home, at the office, or